Hello and welcome to this new Android development tutorial. This is part 6 of how to make a photo editor for Android. So this is the last video of this course, and in this video we will continue to improve our application and to fix problems if we find them and basically finish it, right? So we will go to our Android Studio IDE and we will run the application to check how it works. So we will click on select image and we will select an image we have. Let's select this one for example. And if I click BW, which is black and white, then the image is turned into black and white. But this is a very primitive way of doing it, right? So it's maybe doesn't look that great, but again, you can do whatever the way you may want to do. Instead of turning it to black and white, you can increase the red color or the white color or any kind of color you want to increase. So the first color, which is this right here, is the blue color, right? The second color is the green color, and the third is the red color. Okay, so let me write it. 0 at index 0 we have blue. Okay, at index 1 we have green, and at index 2 we have red. So with this knowledge that we have right here, we can do really lots of things. For example, if we want to just increase the red component, right? For some reason we only want to increase the red component. Okay, so red is the second one. So we will only tell this to do it with the second one. So it will be I plus 2, and we will comment this right here. And we don't need the average because we will kind of just increase the value of the red channel of every pixel. So we will increase it by 3, for example, right? So we can do whatever our imagination enables us to do, right? We will leave the I plus equals 4 modifier and we will run the app right now. So I'm running the app. If I click on select image, I will select maybe this image right here, okay? And if I click the button, it will become more red. Why do we have some green structure here? Well, because the color may run in out of bounds, okay? So to prevent that, we will add a check right here. So you gotta check if colors at I plus 2 is less than 250, for example. Okay, but we can maybe change this a bit. So if we go back here, instead of using a character, we will use an unsigned character. And we will cast it to an unsigned character too. Okay, so we will check if colors I plus 2 is less than 250, only then we will increase it by 3. Okay, so we won't go beyond this, right? So if we run the app again and we check this, maybe if we press here, as you can see, we keep pressing and the image keeps turning into red and more red and more red. And this is basically how filters work, right? So that's how we can change it to red. But maybe we don't want to change it to red, maybe we want to make it more greenish. So as you remember here, green is 1, so instead of 2, I will change these 2 with 1, and I will also change these 2 with 1. And when I change that, I can go here and try to make the image more greenish. So if I keep clicking on this, the image will turn more green and more green and more green, as you can see as I'm clicking here, right? So this is basically, that's what I was telling you, that this has endless possibilities, right? Again, if you want to do it in blue, you do it in blue or whatever you want to know. So you just have to remember this, that 0 is blue, 1 is green, and 2 is red, okay? And of course, every time you have to increase it by 4 because you want to point to the next pixel, okay? So that's basically how our photo editor will work. But now you will say, what if I want to save the image? You know, I have this image right here, but I want to save my edited image to the device storage. So how can I do it? Well, we will do it just right now. We will open our main activity.java, and what we will do here, we will create a method that will enable us to save the image, right? Okay. So we will use the button, this feature 2, as a save feature. So I will change that feature 2 with a save feature. To do that, well, let me close these other files that we don't need. So we have lots of files open that we don't really need right now. So we will go to our main activity, to our activity main.xml. And as you can see here, we have our black and white button. And we will also create our save button. So I can say save image, right? And the text of these will be also save image, right? So just to check that everything went okay, I will run the app and check if that's the case. So right now I click on select image, and now I have this save image, which won't be working because we haven't implemented in code. So to implement this in code, we will go and after the black and white button we just created. Okay, so after this button, we'll create our save image button. So I can say final button save image, and I will set this to save image button actually. So save image button. And I will set this to find view by ID r.id.save image, as you can see. And now I say save image button dot set onClick listener new onClick listener, and inside this onClick method I will create a save method, right? So basically we can do this in a couple of ways, right? And maybe we want to do a confirmation of the save. So maybe the user clicks on that button for error, so we don't want to accidentally save it. Right, so we're gonna create a dialog. So I'm gonna say final alert dialog dot builder. Okay, and we'll call this builder. I'll set this to new alert dialog dot builder, and we will pass the context, which is main activity dot this. Okay, and after this, what we will do is we will create a dialog interface to detect the clicks on the dialog. So to do that, we will type final dialog interface dot onClick listener. Okay, and we will call it dialog click listener. We'll set this to new dialog interface dot onClick listener. Okay, and inside the onClick method of this dialog, we will do the following. As you can see, it has which right here, so we're gonna say if which equals to dialog interface dot button positive. Okay, so if the positive button was tapped, we're gonna create our image file. So you're gonna say final file out file, and I will set this to a method we created in one of the previous tutorials, which was called create image file. So pretty easy to call that method from here. Okay, and now we will open a try block, so try parenthesis, and here I will create a file output stream, which I will call out, and I will set it to new file output stream, and I will pass it with the out file we created previously, so out file, okay? And then we can open the try block right here, and inside the try block that we just created, we're gonna say bitmap dot compress, and inside here uppercase bitmap dot compress format, okay? And what I'll pass inside compress format will be compress format, sorry, that JPEG, because we want a JPEG image. The next one is to define quality. It's usually to define it as 90%, but you can go as high as 100%, okay, if you don't care. So then we go set the file's output stream to specify that we want to use it, okay, and then we will create an update our image URI, right? So I'm gonna say image URI will be set to URL dot parse, your URI dot parse, and inside here we will say double quotes file colon double slash, and of course plus out file that get absolute path. So we have done this previously, right? So maybe you remember this. So that's how we set our new image URI. And now we have to send broadcast. We have also done it previously. So we're going to say send broadcast. So this basically enables us to tell the system that we have a new image, so that the system will be aware of it. So new intent, we'll say intent dot action media scanner scan file, comma, image URI, okay? So this is basically how we tell the system to search for a file. And after we do this, we will tell the user that we have saved his or her file to the gallery. Okay, so I'm going to say make toast that make text, and we will pass the context, which is main activity that this as the first parameter. As the second parameter, we will pass the message. In this case, we can pass the photo or the image was saved. Okay. Okay, so we say the image was saved, and then as the next parameter, we're going to say toast that length short, okay, and then we will just say that show to show the toast. Okay, so basically this will happen when the button positive is pressed. And what happens if the button positive is not pressed? Well, simply nothing, because we are not setting it. Okay, so this is when the positive button is pressed, but now outside the onClick dialog listener, we will do the following. Okay, so outside this listener right here, we have to end the listener with a semicolon. So press the semicolon, and we have finished the listener. So right now we're gonna say builder dot set message. So this is the message that we will set on the dialog. So we will ask like save current photo to gallery. Okay, so we'll ask the user if he or she wants to save the current photo to gallery, and now then set positive button, and we'll say yes. Okay, so we set positive button to yes, And then we can also set negative button. So I said dot set a negative button, and what we'll set to negative button is no. But here we also have, okay, let me scroll this to show you this bit better. So apart from setting the positive button to yes, we have to set it to the listener we created previously. So after yes, we say comma, and here we type listener, what was dialog click listener, right? And then we say set negative button, okay, and set negative button, and here we will set this to no, okay. And also we have to pass the click listener, so comma dialog click listener, okay. And after we pass the click listener, we have to show it, so I can say dot show, okay. So let me put this in a new line in order for you to read it better. So as you can see, this is how we set the message. We set the positive button, and then we set the negative button. So right now, this is basically what will be executed when we click on save, right? So if we run this app right now, oops, we have an error, and apparently we forgot to catch an exception. Yeah. So here in the try block, I forgot to catch the exception. So after we end the try block, we always have to catch. So I'm gonna say catch IO exception. I will call it E, and I'll open brackets here, and I'll say E dot print stack trace, right? So if I run this again, it will actually compile. Okay. And as you can see, I will click on select image. I will open an image like this one. I will click on the feature button, which in this case is turning the whole picture more green. So it's increasing the green channel of the RGB data structure. So as you can see, we have a greener. And now if we click on save image, then the dialog will appear and we'll say save current photo to gallery. If we click on no, then nothing happens. But if we go again and click on next, then it says the image was saved. Okay, so that's really great. So right now, let's try to run the app again. So as I run the app again, I click on select image. Right now you can see that the image that we saved previously exists here. Okay, so here's the image we saved previously, and we can open it or do whatever we want with it, right? So that's basically how we do this. But what if we are inside this and we want to go back to select another image? Okay, so we will implement that feature too. So we go to our activity main.xml file, and before the black and white button, we will create a new button. So button width will be 0 dp, height will be match parent, weight will be 1, the text of these will have back, like to go back, okay, and the ID of this button will be back, just back, right? Okay, so we go now to our main activity.java, and after we created our save button right here, we will create our back button. Okay, so we're gonna say final button back button, and we'll set this to find view by ID to r.id.back. Okay, and then we'll say back button dot set on click listener, new on click listener, which is what we always do. And when we press on back button, we have to do the following. So first of all, we have to hide the screen that is editing this thing. So we're gonna say find view by ID r.id.edit screen, and we'll go and say set visibility to gone. Okay, and we also go and say find view by ID r.id. welcome screen, which is the main screen, and we'll set visibility of that to visible. So now we can use this back button to navigate the way into our app. So let's run this app again and check if the back button feature actually works. So I'm running the app, and as you can see here, I have my photo editor app. I will click on select image, I will select an image, and here I have my back button. If I press on it, you can see that I go back to our main thing. Again, if I go again to select image and I click on the image, I'm back here, right here. Okay, so again, if I go back, I'm back. But you would say it would be also useful if I could use the built-in Android back button. Okay, so this button that every Android phone has. So how can we use that button actually in your application? So it's pretty simple actually. So outside every method, outside the method, so in the top class, so like before the init method right here, I will create public void on back pressed. So this method will be called when the back button is pressed. And here I want to hide and show the views, but now we will use the flag we used previously. Okay, so in order to make this work, we have to go down here into the back button. Where was it? So it was after the save button. So here we have the back button, and right here we're gonna change is edit mode. How did we change this? Did we have a boolean variable edit mode? Yeah, so this edit mode will be set to false back again. Okay, so this will be set, edit mode will be set to false, right? Because we are not in edit mode, because we're hiding the edit screen. So if we go back to our on back pressed method right here, we can say, we will have to check about edit mode. So we can say if edit mode, okay? So if it's an edit mode, we will say find PyID rt_id dot edit screen, and we'll say set visibility to gone. Okay, and we'll do the same. So find PyID rt_id dot welcome screen, and here we're gonna say set visibility to visible, right? So, and after that, we have to also change edit mode to false. Okay, so what will happen if we run this? Okay, let's try to run this. So if we run this, so I'm compiling the app and running it, I will go here, okay? And if I go inside the select image, and if I press the Android built-in back button, it will go back, as you can see. But if I press it again, then the app should close, and that's not happening. So how can we fix this? Okay, so to fix this, we will do an else right here. So if it's not in edit mode, we want to call the super.onBackPress method. Okay, so when we call the super.onBackPress method, we're telling the system that if it's not in edit mode, we want to close the app, or kind of simulate, or not really simulate, but perform a real back pressed button. Okay, so if we run the app again, and we select an image, you can see, let me show the button. So right here, if I press the back button, it goes back, and if I press it again, the app is closed. Okay, so as you can see how it works, right? So basically, this is how this button works. So now we have the back feature both with the button we made ourselves and also with the built-in Android back button. So let's run the application to check that maybe we have something else to improve on it. So here we have a photo editor. As you can see, the take photo feature is not working because of the camera of this emulator. Okay, but if we use this feature on a real device, so now it works, you know. So this sometimes doesn't work. So if I click and accept here, it goes and actually takes a photo, you know? So this is the proof that it actually works, right? So it works with both select image and take photo. And if we go select image, for example, we have the ability to go back. We have the ability to make it black and white. In this case, it's not black and white because it's making it greener, but we can change that, and there are many, many more features. And we also have the ability to save the image. So if we wanted to save the image, to maybe, you know, to do something on the gallery or whatever the case may be. So this is a very, very simple, but at the same time it's very, very powerful because it leaves really to your imagination. So if we go to the photo editor.c file, this is the file that manages what happens when you click on the feature button that changes the color. So it has just very, very few lines of code, right? And this is enough to do it. So it's very simple but powerful, right? So that's it for this video, and that's it for this course. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in a future course. Thank you for watching.